Hey guys, Zen here, and today I wanted to go over the 5 best defending operators in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, of course, this is my opinion, and none of this is set in stone or fact. You guys can also look forward to more operator lists like this, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Now, this list is in order, with number 1 being who I consider to be the best defender currently in the game, so keep that in mind as we proceed. Now, before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to this video sponsor, Now Drinks. This is a product designed for gamers because it increases focus, but it does so without the harmful ingredients other gamer drinks have, like caffeine and taurine, which allows you to remain calm and jitter-free. Now, I use Now Drinks personally, and I actually really like it, so we've partnered up and they've set up an awesome 33% off deal for you guys that click the link at the top of the description, but you can also use code ZEN to get 10% off literally everything else in the store, so make sure you guys go check out Now. It's healthy, it really is delicious, and using my code, it's cheaper, so I know you guys will love it. But to start this list off with the number 5 spot, we have the medic of Team Rainbow, Doc. He's a 3 armor, 1 speed operator that brings the stim pistol gadget. Doc has the ability to use this gadget to heal up his teammates, heal up himself, and also revive down teammates from a distance. I consider Doc to have the most clutch potential on defense, and it's because with 3 stim shots, he can basically undo any damage taken throughout the round. But even if there's no damage taken, he can overheal himself or teammates and instantly gain the edge in a gunfight. Now, I personally anchor with Doc, but a tactic that's been increasing in popularity recently is to roam with him. Considering how passive of an ability he has, he actually does make a really good roamer. When you're roaming, a lot of the time you're going to be either the first point of contact with the attackers early on in the round, or you'll be the last by flanking in to save the round towards the end. And in either scenario, Doc is a great fit. If he takes a lot of damage early on, he can heal himself up and make it seem like nothing happened, or if he's last man standing and the diffuser is planted, he can overheal and make it really difficult for the attackers to take him out. Doc also has a really solid loadout as well. Now, both the P90 and MP5 are good weapons, with the MP5 clearly being the fan favorite, but the GIGN shotgun is most definitely a sleeper weapon and really needs more attention in the meta. There really is no definitive way to play this operator, and that's really the beauty of him. Once you set up your walls and drop your barbed wire, you can choose how you play the rest of your round. No matter if you choose to roam or anchor, you'll have a really good primary by your side, access to an ACOG scope, and plenty of health for whoever needs it. Doc brings so much value to every map and every single objective site that I think at some point we've all been self-proclaimed Doc mains, but only real Doc mains know that the silenced P90 and bulletproof camera combo is the only way to load out this operator. Next up, at the number 4 spot, we have Maestro. He's a 3 armor, 1 speed defender that comes with the Evil Eye gadget. Now, the Evil Eye has a completely melee and bulletproof exterior, so it allows Maestro to place it in areas outside of the objective, but you can also mount it in plain sight. No other defender gadget in the game has both of these freedoms. Yes, Valkyrie can and should throw her cams outside of the objective, but she has to make sure they're stealthy and not easily visible, or else they'll be shot out. Alibi can have her holograms in plain sight, but must make sure the base is behind cover, or her gadget will be taken out. Maestro really doesn't have to take these things into consideration during the prep phase. What's most important is the amount of ground you overlook with the Evil Eyes. Because they're bulletproof, you should really think of the best places to set up that allow you to see the most surrounding area, because this gadget is still a camera by nature and will be used for intel by both you and your teammates. Now, the standout and flashy feature of this gadget is of course its taser. Maestro can open up the shutter of the Evil Eye and shoot a taser that damages enemies and can also destroy their gadgets, including drones. Now, of course, this is when the gadget is most vulnerable, so you need to decide if it's worth it for you to risk having the Evil Eye destroyed and losing all of its intel ability just to do a small amount of damage to the enemy. The goal isn't to get kills with the Evil Eye, even if it's incredibly satisfying. You want to be that constant reminder to the attackers that you're watching them and there really isn't much they can do about it. You know how every Valkyrie main calls out not to ping with the black eye cams? It's because they don't want to reveal the position of the cameras. Maestro really isn't concerned with that. He's a varied man with choices. As an attacker, you either sit and watch it while it watches you turn your back and get tased, or you use very important explosive utility to deal with it. Now, your biggest fear on defense is Sledge, and also to some degree Maverick. Sledge can one-hit the Evil Eye and Maverick can torch it, but both of these operators must be up close with the gadget to do so, which may put them in danger of being taken out. As far as loadout, Maestro has the Elda, a defensive LMG, and also an automatic shotgun. The Elda is one of my favorite weapons on defense. It really is just a beast. It can be a bit bouncy when you're first getting used to it, but once you get it down, it just goes to work. The fact that you have both an ACOG and a massive magazine makes Maestro really efficient at dealing with multiple attackers at once, usually without reloading. You also have the option of the Bailiff and the Keratos secondary weapons. With Maestro in particular, I run the Bailiff because it's great for opening up hatches and small rotations on sight, and you can also make little murder holes for your Evil Eye gadget to look through if you're really creative. Now, this operator is going to set up and find a place to sit and use his gadget, which may not sound like the most exciting gameplay loop, but Maestro is a ton of fun and will almost always put the attackers into a very uncomfortable situation or force them to use powerful gadgets to deal with it. Number 3 is Lesion. This operator has steadily and consistently risen in popularity since his release, and he's at the point now where you see him basically every defending round. So Lesion is a 2-speed, 2-armor defender that comes with the Goo gadget. What makes this gadget so special is just how effective it is. Because it's cloaked, as an attacker, it makes it almost impossible to avoid these traps throughout the round, and in the event you do step on one, it'll alert the entire defensive team of your general position. Now, there's 2 major keys to follow while playing Lesion. 1, never hold on to more than 1 Goo at a time, and secondly, make sure you spread them around evenly throughout the objective. Now, of course, Lesion doesn't get all of his mines at once. He gets them over the course of the round, so if you're stacking up on Goo and get taken out, you've basically wasted all of his utility. Once Goo is ready, try and throw it out immediately, and my biggest recommendation is to abuse it on stairs and under hatches. This way, you don't give them much time or cover to pull out the needle. It's extremely unsettling and frustrating when you think it's clear, you're going for your big push, then all of a sudden you run into a Goo mine and literally everything stops because you have to take it out. Now, Lesion's main counters are Thatcher, Twitch, and IQ, but to be honest, I give IQ the edge here because she can most easily see them while they're cloaked. Also, given the freedom of where he can throw each one, she's just the most ideal at spotting them and picking them off. Now yes, Lesion is a very popular operator, but he also comes with a fairly large responsibility. Not only is it important for you to have your Goo placed properly, but it's also vital that you stay alive the entire round because that's when you get all of your gadgets and use all of your utility. Now, Lesion has a very balanced loadout in my opinion. The T5 SMG was recently nerfed, but it really hasn't made this operator any less viable, and it's just a solid weapon overall, so it feels great to use. He also has impact grenades, which in this case is best for rotations on site because that's where you're most safe and can wait for your Goo. I think at his core, Lesion is an intel operator. Each Goo is marked and any defender in that area will know it's gone off, so it makes it easy to know where the enemy is pushing from. Even if we label him as a trap operator, I think Lesion has proved he's worth so much more in the meta, and it's because of that why he's made this list. Moving on to our number 2 spot, we have Jaeger. He's a 3-speed, 1-armor defender that brings the ADS to the field. Jaeger is the only operator that stops projectiles, and so no matter the situation or strat, he's viable. There is one kind of unique drawback to this operator, and it's actually the time it takes him to set up. After putting up the walls, dropping barbed wire, placing the ADS, and picking up rook armor, there just isn't a lot of time left to get moving on a deep roam. So personally, I usually hover a floor above or below the site and make sure I have a quick path back into the objective. Once you're all set up and ready to go though, you have one of the strongest weapons on defense available. Jaeger's 416 carbine is just legendary, and especially after the recoil changes with Operation Grim Sky, it just feels so much more focused and less bouncy overall. I'll admit, to this day, I'm still begging for his ACOG back, but to be honest, with all the weapon changes of year 3, this gun just feels better than ever. Jaeger really hasn't seen too much change, and I think it's because he just is a really balanced operator. His gadget is fundamental to defense and is a constant threat to the attackers. His gun is amazing, and he's got the versatility of 3-speed. Jaeger will always be meta, and until a new operator gets introduced with a similar ability, he'll remain exclusive and basically a must pick against projectiles. Now, before we move on to our number 1 spot, I wanted to give a shout out to the honorable mentions. I have 2 operators here at this spot because some people use these videos as a way to choose which operators to unlock next or to get more general information. First up, in my opinion, the most underappreciated defender in the game, Alibi. It's all about the illusions, they say. Well, I suppose it is if you think Alibi is all about matching her holograms. She's a 3-speed, 1-armor defender that comes with the Prisma gadget. You have access to 3 holograms that when deployed look like the default Alibi with the default weapon. Describing Alibi's utility is difficult because she plays mind games, but the best place to start is with the intel side of her. Attackers are pinged if they shoot or drone through a hologram, so ultimately that's exactly what you want. The most popular method is to place a hologram behind cover or a window. That way, when the attackers go to destroy it, they shoot the hologram hologram and get pinged. Another method is to physically stand in the hologram and hope that an attacker hesitates to shoot and you get a surprise kill. Personally, I prefer the House of Mirrors approach. Fill a room with holograms and find a nice spot to sit and watch the show. If an attacker gets confused and they shoot at one, you can take advantage of that intel and secure a kill. Now, Alibi also has a really good primary with the MX4 Storm. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it has a high fire rate, and so you're gonna really want to hit headshots to get the most out of it. On top of all of this, she has the Bailiff and Impact, so opening up the map is seamless. I genuinely feel like the community is still learning Alibi, and it'll take some time before we know every trick up her sleeve. The last honorable mention has to go to Mute. He's a 2-speed, 2-armor operator with the Signal Disruptor gadget. Let's be real here, Mute is just better now because of the SMG-11. It made him more appealing, it made him more lethal, and it even opened up the ability for him to reliably use the shotgun. But it isn't all about the weapons with this operator. The gadget doesn't get nearly enough credit in my opinion. Mute's jammers offer a ton of utility in the hard breaching meta, but their most crucial purpose is to jam drones. At the top of a stairwell or behind certain cover, there's absolutely nothing that the drones can do to get past a jammer. As an attacker, when you can't drone out your next push, you feel vulnerable and it's almost like being blind, so it forces you to deal with it if you want to know what lies ahead. Now, I think it's important to note that with Kaid now on defense, there's another answer to the hard breachers, so this leaves Mute with the ability to use his jammers in other ways away from the walls. You've got to remember that Mute counters Dokebi's Logic Bomb and even Lion's EE-1D, so I think it's viable to anchor down with this operator and place a few jammers near you. Now, I've always loved Mute and I think he's better now in almost every way with access to the SMG-11 and more anti-breaching options available on defense. Last up here at the number 1 spot, the operator I see as the best defender currently in the game, we have Echo. Now, this may or may not come as a surprise to some of you, but I think Echo has some of the most valuable intel on the defensive side. So he's a 3-armor, 1-speed defender that comes with the Yokai drone gadget. This gadget can hover around the map until you stick it up to the ceiling. Once on the ceiling, it'll cloak itself, becoming invisible, and also activate the ability to use its special sonic burst. Not only does this burst disorient the enemy, but it also denies a bomb plant, which in those really tense situations can save the round and quite possibly the match. What really catapulted Echo to the top was the update that gave him an additional Yokai drone and also allows his teammates to see their feed. It's a classic zero to hero story. Echo was incredibly underwhelming. He did still have that plant denial, but that was really it. As soon as you sonic burst with the drone, it uncloaks itself and it opens up an opportunity to be shot out, and with only one drone, that could be it for the gadget. So now he has another one and it makes a world of difference. I find the most effective use of Echo is to throw both drones out at the start of the round, set one up around you to kind of watch your back while you're using them, and cruise around the map with the other one. You can gain early intel on the enemy and easily slow down any rushing attackers, which can set the tone for the rest of the round. This setup also allows your team to use your drones for intel. If both Yokai are set up and on the ceiling and you happen to be taken out, well, your team can still use those drones like cameras with the added benefit of them being invisible. Now, Echo is constantly banned in Pro League, and I honestly think it's for this exact reason. If you're hit with a sonic burst, it's really not the end of the world. You can still see and you can still kind of defend yourself, but constantly being spotted by an invisible camera is very frustrating and will make you wish IQ had a higher pick rate. Now, Echo has a unique primary with the MP5 SD. It's basically a permanently silenced MP5. It's overall a great weapon, fairly easy to manage, balance damage, and you can equip an ACOG. He also has access to the Bearing 9 automatic secondary, which, just being honest, it isn't what it used to be, but the pistol that both Hibana and Echo have is actually really good, so if you're not a fan of the Bearing 9, I recommend you make the switch. Now, Echo has never really been my personal cup of tea. He's just a bit too dependent on robots and a little lazy, so to have him at the number 1 spot surprises me just as much as it may surprise some of you. But with the ability to slow down enemies, prevent the plant, and add 2 invisible cameras to defense, he's my pick for the top spot and the best defender currently in the game. But that's everything, guys. Those are my picks for the 5 best defender operators in Rainbow Six Siege. Soon we'll go over the worst operator list, so be on the lookout for that. Here's another huge shout out to Now Drinks. Make sure you guys go check out the special they're having, and of course use code ZEN for 10% off everything else. But I want to hear from you. Who are your 5 best defending operators in Rainbow Six Siege, and do you agree with mine? Let me know in a comment down below. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe with notifications if you're new. With that being said, it's been Zen. Hey, I'm out.